Welcome to another edition of Niger Delta Today, a program that traverses the Niger Delta region to bring you latest developments within the region. In the course of the program, we'll also be interacting with industries, parts and locals on the challenges facing the region and also finding possible solutions to those challenges. I am Sifon Ode. Please stay with us and let's explore the region together.
On this edition, former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan inaugurates Delta State High Court Complex in Asaba. Lord's performance of Governor Oborewori. Federal government set to commission Kwale gas plants in Niger Delta. Akwa Ibom project verification team to submit report of authenticated project of local government transition committee chairman today. River State Police Command arrests some car theft gang members, advises Uber drivers to be alert while transporting passengers. Independent National Electoral Commission extends deadline for continuous voter registration in Edo and Ondo State. Aggrieved Enigis of Benin Kingdom open to peaceful resolution of case with Oba of Benin. Our special feature today was focusing on World Environment Day.
And those are the headlines you're tracking for your Niger Delta today. Let's begin with news that Nigeria's former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, has inaugurated Delta State High Court Complex in Asaba and flagged off the presentation of 20 Toyota Prado Sport utility vehicles to judges in the state. Now, speaking during the inauguration ceremony, the former President Jonathan commended Governor Sheriff Oborevori for his primary focus on the infrastructural developments of Niger Delta and of Delta State and his commitment to continuing with projects inherited from previous administration in the state. Jonathan also lauded Governor Oborevori for his prudence in returning unutilized funds of over 500 million naira to the state treasury when he was Speaker of the State House of Assembly. He urged the governor to continue to manage the resources of the state in a way that will affect the people positively. The former president urged the people of Delta State to keep supporting the governor for the overall development of the state.
That 50% will not go to court. The next 50% that go to court is that they know they failed the election, but they feel they can use the judiciary to declare them winners. So if the judiciary don't declare who don't win election that they are winners, that remaining 50% who will not go to court. In South Africa, the electoral management body will never compromise, and they all know. So if you lose election, you just wait for the next election. You don't need to go to court. And because if you go to court, the judiciary too will not compromise. So you don't get anything. So over the period, nobody goes to court when they go to election. And Nigeria, I believe, will get there one day. So the judiciary, let me use the opportunity to, the CJN is here, the judge of Delta State is here. You must help people like us and Ned, who are the politicians. Be very strong and do the right thing, so that this abundance of litigations after election will stop in this country.
With my promise to complete all ongoing projects inherited from the immediate past administration, I took this project as one of my priorities. Of a truth, that out of the 3 arms of government, only the judiciary was lacking a befitting building complex. This motivated me to hasten the completion of this project. I am glad that today the narrative has changed for good. The cause of justice will now be better served for the greater good of all. As a government, we have taken steps to further ensure that our judges and associated staff not only operate in a conducive and enabling environment, but has also provided with the necessary tools that complement the functionality and prestige of their offices. In line with our more agenda to boost labor force productivity, this facility is provided with a 350 kVA generator and 150 kVA generator, and is also connected to the Asaba Independent Power Plant to allow for uninterrupted power supply to the building.
From this date, the Chief Judge and one other judge sit in these two courts, while other judges sit at various locations in the state capital. For almost 20 years after the creation of Delta State, all crucial departments in the headquarters operated at great cost to the government from different locations and far away from the leadership. While the High Court of Justice was going through this phase, 2 new modern State Secretariat buildings and a new Delta State House of Assembly complex have been built, commissioned, and put to use. I must confess that at that stage, the judiciary felt like an offer. The dream of every successive chief judge since the creation of Delta State is to have a befitting headquarters which can accommodate all judges and support staff in one place.
A suspected armed robber has died in an attempt to escape from the police along the NNPC housing complex road in Ovia local government area of Delta State, while 2 other of his colleagues fled the crime scene. The deceased suspect died at the Ekpan General Hospital for medical treatment, where he was taken to, and he was confirmed dead by a doctor on duty. Delta State Police Public Relations Officer SP Bright Edafe confirmed the report in a statement signed and made available to newsmen in Wari. The police image maker said the suspects were given a hard chest, during which one of the suspects was arrested with a black bag, one cut-to-size double-barrel gun with 2 live cartridges, while 2 other suspects escaped. According to SP Edafe, effort to arrest other fleeing members of the gang is ongoing. After being put on hold following the nationwide industrial strike by the labor union, the federal government has eventually fixed a date for the technical commissioning of the 300 MMS CFD capacity Kwale gas gathering and injection facility in the Niger Delta. The injection facility, located in the Omosam community near Kwale in Edo State, Niger Delta, is a joint venture between Nedo Gas Development Company Limited, NDCL, Zenegi Limited, and NCDMB Capacity Development Intervention Company, in collaboration with the NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company, NGIP, a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Now, according to a statement by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, the technical commissioning will now be held on Thursday, June 6, 2024, after its successful completion. The commissioning ceremony will be performed by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, the minister will be supported by the Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Sheriff Francis Rowode and the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Engineer Felix Agbe. The KGG facility was designed to handle stranded gas resources in Nigeria's OML 56 oil province by providing the opportunity for independent operators in the area to monetize natural gas from their fields through the gas gathering, compression, injection and metering infrastructure of the KGG for quick market access. Workers in Akwa Ibom State are expecting a favorable resolution on the issue of minimum wage as well as the hike in electricity tariff. The workers stated this shortly after the suspension of strike by the organized labor. The Akwa Ibom State Chapter Chairman of NLC, Comrade Sonny James, said the organized labor suspended the strike out of concern for the plight of Nigerians and to allow time for negotiation.
What is important here is that the NLC and TUC met after the appeal of the federal government to give them 1 week to look at the matter. And therefore, if 1 week is not too much, for them to go back to the table and see how the matter could be resolved. So we are very hopeful that within this 1 week window granted federal government, that everything will be resolved and make a
The chairman of the Trade Union Congress of Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Dominic Abang, stressed that although the strike was important to the organized labor, it was necessary the strike be suspended as a show of good faith with the federal government.
And we also understand that we cannot close that discussion at that point, except we get back to the tripartite committee to look at it, and that is why we are here.
Our correspondent, Simple Iwat, also spoke to other members of the union who said they anticipate a favorable resolution.
Yeah, we are hoping that they are back to the drawing board, negotiating and within the government and the labor union. So within this period of relaxing the strike, we hope to hear good news.
Once the government decide on what to pay, from maybe 200,000 naira up should be enough based on the fuel that we buy, based on the prices of things.
Away from that, in a bid to authenticate project executed by the local government transition committee chairman and their members in Akwa Ibom State, the state governor Pastor Moino has set up verification team to confirm the project and submit their report today. This was contained in a statement from the office of the secretary to the state government, Prince Enobongwa, and made available to journalists in New York on Tuesday. According to the statement, members of the verification team, who are predominantly commissioners and a few House members, are expected to submit their report on Wednesday, June 5th. Last month, Governor Moina visited all the local government areas for factual findings on their various projects, but has now constituted another verification team to report the outcome of their findings. It could be recalled that Governor Enoch constituted a transition committee across all the council areas in the state after the expiration of the tenure of the office of chairman and councillor 6 months ago, pending when elections will be conducted in the council. Meanwhile, wife of the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Mrs. Patience Umoino, has vowed that tough penalty will be dispensed against offenders of gender-based violence in the state to serve as deterrent to others. The First Lady, who is the chairperson of the State GBV Management Committee, handed down the warning during the opening ceremony of the State GBV Awareness Month at Ibom Hall in Uyo. Mr. No also warned those in the habit of perpetrating such evil against women to desist or be ready to face the full weight of the law when caught. Represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Akuni Yanaye, the governor's wife applauded the commitment of members of the committee in the fight aimed at reducing the alarming number of cases of human rights violations, describing GBV as a serious health issue that affects individuals, families, and communities at large. The Akwa Ibom State First Lady also solicited for collaboration of government at all levels, as well as non-state actors in the ongoing fight against the scourge of GBV with a view to curb the crimes.
Violence against the male, they are under our mother's code. Together, we can create a safer and more inclusive society. We reiterate government's commitment and dedication to ensure we curb the menace of GBV in Akwa Ibom State, and we are counting on your collective efforts to make us succeed. It's not a one-man thing. It's not a one-woman thing. It's for all of us. What you see, you speak out. Where you cannot reach, make a call. That will fight for our sisters. Is ready to fight for our mothers. As I was seated there, I heard one story. That a son raped a mother that brought him into his world. What type of life is that? What type of life is that? And thank God for the secretary of the committee and her team. As soon as the call was made, before dawn, she was there. Whatever evil that is owed, in whatever form that drives these people to commit this act, that God should take it away from Akwa Ibom State. I support 100% the GBV court proposed by the keynote speaker.
It appears like the political tension in Rivers State might just be easing as the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, says the worst is over and the political crisis rocking the state. Now, Governor Fubara met this at the Thanksgiving reception organized by the Amanyanabo of Okochiri Kingdom, King Ateketom, to celebrate his 60th birthday. He said having weathered the political storm, he could now concentrate and work for the development and progress of the state. Governor Fubara has been embroiled in a political crisis with his predecessor and estranged political godfather, Wike. Now, last October, he survived an impeachment plot by members of the Rivers State House of Assembly loyal to the FCT minister.
Life has become too short. When you mark 40, you say, thank God. Somebody has marked 50, and by the special grace of God, is celebrating 60. So I want to thank God for his life, because it is only possible through God. If you chronicle the life and time of His Majesty, you will understand that death moves around him. And for him to stay this long, it is only God that has made it possible. So it is worth celebrating. We, as a government, it is our duty to make sure that we support our own, more especially when you are contributing to peace and development of our states. I'm happy to identify with our brother in celebrating three things. First, according to the chairman, his birthday. Secondly, the special honor that the great people of Okrika and the ancient people of Okochiri honor them with. And thirdly, the one that they said I did. I didn't do it as a person. It is the office of the governor that honored them.
Meanwhile, auditors general of local government areas have described Rivers State as peaceful and calm despite reports of political crisis in the state. The Conference of Auditor General of Local Government in Nigeria Calgary spoke on Tuesday after paying a visit to the state governor Siminalayi Fubara at the Government House in Port Harcourt. The Auditors General are in Port Harcourt for their 28th National Conference ongoing in Rivers State. The chairman of the Conference of Auditors General for Local Government in Nigeria, Mr. Atiku Musa, who led the delegation, spoke after meeting the governor behind closed doors. A statement signed by the governor's chief press secretary, Nelson Chukudi, quoted Musa as saying that it was much better to experience Rivers State in person to have the correct perception of its people, of the comforting, peaceful atmosphere, and rich hospitality. Away from that, 3 persons are feared dead after a liquefied petroleum gas LPG tanker exploded at the Obidi Kwere flyover in Rumomasi, Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State. Report has it that the incident happened around 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday. An eyewitness said the tanker was on high speed, lost balance, and fell on a taxi. The Federal Fire Service arrived at the scene later to reduce the impact of the explosion. The sector commander of the Rivers State Command of FRSC, Christopher Kuche, has blamed the accident that led to the explosion on overspeeding. The Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Mr. Tunji Deso, has advised Uber drivers to be cautious while picking up or transporting passengers, particularly to remote or potentially dangerous areas. Mr. Dusu stated these following the arrest of some members of a criminal gang suspected to be murdering car hire drivers and stealing their vehicles. In a statement released by the command spokesperson SP Grace Eringo Koko in Port Harcourt, the group was linked to multiple cases of drivers that got missing. According to her, the discovery of these criminal enterprise targeting Uber drivers in the state followed the disappearance of one Ogeneware Bari Agboma, an Uber driver. She revealed that the arrest of one gang member, Anthony Chima, exposed the sinister activities of the gang in the state. ISP Ringo Koko said that Chima's testimony showed the gang's further gruesome actions of killing the drivers and harvesting their body parts for rituals. The police spokesperson said that a manhunt had been launched to capture the fleeing gang members, stating that Chima would face legal actions. The Port Harcourt Zonal Commander of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned one Blessing Nchelem and her daughter-in-law, Deborah Jack, before Justice P.I. Ajoko of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, for multiple counts of fraud. The commission stated this on its X handle on Tuesday. The culprits were arraigned on 4-count charges bordering on criminal conspiracy, obtaining money under false pretense, and retention of proceeds of a unlawful act to the tune of 6 million naira. The duo pleaded not guilty to the charges when they were read to them, following which prosecution counsel E.K. Sinotu pressed the court to fix a date for the commencement of trial and for the defendants to be remanded in the custody of Niger Correctional Service, while the defense counsel S.O. Aburu orally applied to the court to grant the defendants bail to enable them prepare for their trial. Justice Ajoko, who declined the oral bail application, asked the defense counsel to make a formal bail application and ordered the defendants to be remanded in EFCC's custody. As part of renewed effort to tackle cultism in Edo State Governor Mr. Godwin Obaseki has vowed to frustrate all cult-related activities in the state. Governor Obaseki disclosed this while speaking with journalists after a closed-door meeting with security chiefs in Edo State at the government house in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The Edo State governor also banned the activities of Oga Kelis in Edo South Senatorial District of the state. Mr. Obaseki noted that at least 150 persons had been lost to cult-related activities and homicides since January 2024 till date. He said government had set up a special task force of the Security Council, headed by the Director of the Department of State Service, DSS, that will immediately review every cult-related incident in the state. The governor said an anti-cultism law has been passed in Edo State and that law will be implemented to its fullest. And at the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State, Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Olaolu Kayode, has warned against vote buying and selling in the September 21st, 2024 election. Mr. Luke Kayode issued the warning during a town hall meeting on voter sensitization in Ekboma, Esan West local government area, and at the Farmcop Hall, University of Benin. Represented by Mr. William Osegale, Assistant Commandant of the EFCC, the chairman said vote buying and selling are against the law. He asked participants to also take the message to their friends, brothers, sisters, and colleagues, as ignorance is not an excuse in law. Citing the Electoral Act, he said any person who buys or offers to buy any voter's card, whether on his own behalf or on behalf of any other person, commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 500,000 naira or imprisonment not exceeding 2 years or both. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended deadline for the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise in Edo and Ondo State from today, June 3 to Sunday, June 9th. A statement signed by the National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Lumekun, the Commission said that about 120,458 eligible voters have so far registered since the exercise commenced on the 27th of May. The statement noted that following appeals by stakeholders, the Commission has approved the extension of the exercise from Thursday 6 to Sunday 9 June 2024 to enable more eligible persons to register. Now, According to the statements, the duration of the exercise extended from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. The number of centers has been increased beyond the 397 wards, the 2 state offices in Benin City and Akure, to include all the 36 local government offices of the Commission in the 2 states. The Commission added that more machines will also be deployed to areas identified to have peculiar needs such as difficult terrain or communal issues. Now, it appears like the aggrieved Niger, that is the Dukes of Benin Kingdom, have instituted a court case against the Oba Eware II of Benin Kingdom, and are open to a peaceful resolution of the crisis between them and the Oba, and insist that the resolution must be based on justice. At a press conference in Benin, Professor Kenzwa, who spoke on behalf of other association of Niger in Edo South Senatorial District, which had 48 other members in attendance, said that there was no other traditional process that they know that have not gone through to resolve the matter. And the Nigerians who said that the resolution of the issue must be based on justice noted that it was the reason they went to court to challenge alleged injustice being meted to them. The Nigerians also denied allegations that they were being sponsored by the government and its agent, adding that some members of the royal family and the lawyers to the Oba, who recently issued statement condemning the planned peace moves initiated by Governor Guy Bunabasiki, saying that they were wrong in their positions. The Oba's uncle, Professor Gregory Akenswa, is one of the suspended Nigerians who took the Oba to court, challenging their suspension as a Niger in the Benin Kingdom. Professor Kenzwa and Duke Edowonyi and other dukes had approached a court to quash their suspension by the Oba Eware II, saying that only the state government has the power to suspend them. On May 27, the Benin royal family announced the suspension of the embattled Professor Gregory Akenswa. And in Bayelsa State, the State Governor Doyediri has enjoined his appointees, political associates, friends, and well-wishers to join him in praying for peace and unity and development of the state on his birthday. Governor Diri, who turned 65, said since assuming office in February 2020, he has not engaged in public celebration of his birth, as he does not believe in spending public funds on a personal celebration. He noted that the economic situation in the country and the developmental challenges of the state require that all hands be on deck rather than spending scarce resources on frivolous celebrations. The governor advised those who want to celebrate him in the media to jettison the idea and rather divert such resources towards human capital development, as well as promoting the unity and peace of the state. Meanwhile, former Governor Bayelsa State Senator Henry Serake Dixon has felicitated Governor Doyediri on his 65th birthday. Senator Dixon, in his message, prayed that God Almighty grants him many more years of service to his people in good health. In another trending story, netizens have been debating on whose account salaries should be paid into after stand-up comedian Helen Paul openly suggested that women's salaries should be paid directly to their partners' bank accounts. She communicated this via her Instagram accounts, where she solicited the opinions of other women on the issue. Her post gained traction, with some women concurring while others expressed disagreement. One Sam Adeyemi supported her suggestion, as he has seen a family where ATM and bank account alert for the wife is with the husband, who are still happily married. Now, others disregard with the suggestion, outrightly rejecting it. But one netizen with the account name at Mama, however, prefers her salary be paid into his account, while her husband's own should be paid into her account. Well, we'll let you ponder on that. It's now going to short, but we'll be right back for the special feature. Don't go away.
In a world of overwhelming voices, where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
The battle for points in the 2026 FIFA World Cup resumes this June as the Super Eagles of Nigeria take on the Bafana Bafana of South Africa on match day 3 at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. African Football of the Year Victor Osimhen, new Bundesliga king Victor Boniface, and other Super Eagles stars will confront the boys from South Africa in the second installment of the trilogy which began in Cote d'Ivoire. Watch the action on all our affiliate stations as the two heavyweights clash on their way to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Afro Sport TV, the freedom of sports.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people dey talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
If you are not a judge, you are not a judge.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we no dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager and the bank executive, they are the one the government should first place.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop.
Are you a young adult with a passion for storytelling and content creation? Do you reside in the Niger Delta and desire to become a filmmaker or content creator?
Then you should register for the ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop, an exciting opportunity brought to you by ADBN TV. Embark on a journey to unlock your creative potential by learning the art of filmmaking, sound design, and lighting using your smartphone. This is your chance to turn your ideas into reality. So hurry now and register via our website at www.adbntv.com. But wait, that's not all. Your creations will be aired on ADBN TV, channel 258 on DSTV, 140 on StarTimes, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app, reaching audiences far and wide. And guess what? 3 lucky winners will be selected for the grand cash prize of 5 million naira.
Meet our facilitators.
Register now at www.adbntv.com and take the first step towards a future in filmmaking and content creation. ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop. Unleash your creativity.
Welcome back. It's still Niger Delta today, and today is World Environment Day. That is a day set aside to raise awareness on environmental issues and action to preserve, protect and nurture the environment. This year, the platform focuses on the planet's urgent need for land restoration and how we destroy our environment. Here with me in the studio are members from Yali Network who will be talking more on the issue. We have in the studio the Secretary Yali Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Ediong Senye Ndunobong, is in the studio with me here. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigeria.
Okay, also we have the project coordinator of the 1 million tree planting for Yali Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Iniebong Oko. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
All right, good afternoon. Now, let's start up with what the day is all about. Today is World Environment Day. What is the day all about? Let's start with the projects.
Okay, thank you very much. Today is World Environment Day, and it's all about the restoration of degrading ecosystem, battling and checking how we could restore the degrading climate this scene on the surface of the earth.
Okay, so I don't know if I may want to add to what my colleague just talked about. Given the theme of this year's World Environment, they're talking about land restoration, desertification, and of course building resilience. You would come to understand that over the years, the world is grappling with the issues of climate change, and it's a problem affecting everyone, but disproportionately. By disproportionately, I mean some people are more affected than others, and some are actually the causes of, they contribute more rather to what we are facing globally as the impact of climate change. So talking with that regard, you'll find out that from the Niger Delta being the focus of this conversation, that communities across the Niger Delta have been seriously degraded as a result of oil exploitation. I don't call it oil exploration. And you're talking about restoring this land. The people in the course of these exploration activities or exploitation activities, you find that lands are lost, water, and of course the biodiversity in these places have been affected and impacted negatively. And that way, livelihood is affected, poverty setting, it affects almost every facet of the society. And so it's very pertinent that issues like this are being discussed so that we do not just focus on how we can tap from nature, how we can exploit nature, but we can also think of ways we can contribute to, saving this particular nature we tap from. And the topic too is actually, or the theme is actually all-encompassing, because go to the north, you're talking about the certification and land restoration. And come to the north, you also, to the south rather, you also need to restore the land, because over here in the south, we have our peculiar problems with regards to land degradation. And then if you go to the north, they also have their peculiar issues.
So what are those peculiar problems that we have here in the south?
In the south, I had mentioned in the course of my response that we talk about the issue of oil exploration and then oil spill and then gas flaring. And of course, one of the ways you could do, one of the things you do in restoring land is planting trees, basically. And if you go to, we're in Akwa Ibom, we're broadcasting from Akwa Ibom. If you go to Eket, you find these places where gas is continuously 24/7 being flared. So you find in these locations, trees will not survive. So if trees that you can see with your eyes cannot survive, how about the microorganisms? How about and some happen in the waters too. I think in Ondo State, Ondo is being regarded as part of Niger Delta. There is the Oruro oil field that fire is burning continuously in the sea. You understand? So what happens to the fishes in that water, the biological diversity of that environment? So you're talking about the Eket, Eastern Obolo, and that axis, talking about all of that. So what happened to the environment? What happened to the soil? What happened to the organisms you cannot see with your eyes? Okay. Which are critical component of the environment. Without this, the things you can't even cultivate. all of these things are important, critical to even our existence as humans. So it's actually very important that we do our very best to, restore the ecosystem, especially with regards to managing our
let's
soil
look at
and
the
land.
issue of the 1 million tree planting. So can you throw more light on that?
Okay, the 1 million tree planting is a program of Yale Network Nigeria.
Okay.
We are going to be planting trees across the 36 states of the Federation, including FCT. We are registered with the project is registered with the United Nations Environment Program. And the idea is about propagating the need for us to plant trees as a way of cushioning the climate effects on the earth. So we are looking forward to getting partners with us to join the tree planting. Tomorrow we'll kickstart the program in Akwa Ibom State at Etoi, Government School Etoi, that's in Uyo. Then there will be a social media campaign for 30 days, starting from today to July 5th. And the tree planting will run for 90 days, from June 1st to August 31st. So that is the idea about the program. And we are not going to do it as an organization alone. We are looking forward to individuals also planting these trees. We have an app. We have a dashboard. We are going to register all the trees that are being planted. So we keep track. We want to know how impactful this project has been. How far have we been able to impact? How far have we been able to tell people to plant trees? We want to know the number of trees they have been able to plant. So that's why we have this database to record everything.
Okay, most times people plant trees and before they just plant and leave. How can they groom these trees so that someone can still come back and see that these trees are doing well, not just planting it and just leaving it there?
That is why we are going on this awareness campaign. We are not telling you plant trees and leave it. Plant trees, we're going to tell you how to nurture these trees. Now, basically, June, July is actually a rainy season, high rainy season. And this period, if you plant any crop like trees, flowers, by this time, this is the actual time recommended for such crops or trees to be planted. So if you check it well, check the pest and every other thing, I think nothing is going to happen to it. And we also have the database. So we're going to check the tree that was planted in so and so place. What is happening to that tree? We'll now go to verify that those trees are still in good health.
Okay. Mr. Ediong is saying, apart from the tree planting, what else can be done to preserve the environment and protect it?
Okay, I would talk about our habit as a people.
Okay.
Now, the street that leads to the Passion FM Drive, if you go out from the street, you will find out that women are cultivating the land around that axis. And where do they dump their waste? In the gutter. Our attitude as a people. Is it just the, is it gutter? Is it that those gutters the only place those women can dump their waste? And you find out that with this waste in the gutter, water will find it very difficult to. And these are waterways. And recently in Uyo, I've heard of places, one of the eyebrow areas that has been flooded, and I learned human life has been lost in the process. What happened? Because the waterways are blocked. And how did that happen? As a result of our habit as a people, the habit of dumping refugees in the gutter. So when we do this, we exacerbate the impact of climate change. And as simple as drinking water from the bottle or sachet, and then you're throwing it anyhow on the street, is a problem. It defaces the city. Uyo is adjudged to be the cleanest city back to back for many years now. But when we keep doing this as people living in this state, whether you're from here or not, we deface the beauty of the city, and then you don't know exactly where this waste you are trashing anyhow is heading to. Some will end up in the gutters. Some may find their way into the ocean, and when they get into the ocean, fishes will get to ingest them, and then when they ingest, it will bioaccumulate. By bioaccumulate, the pieces will start, building up in their system, and then the fisherman who is out to make money goes at sea to fish, and then he has a good cash some days, and then come back, sell it to you, and then you are happy. I've got some good amount of fish, and you're cooking. You do not know that the same plastic you threw in the gutter or somewhere carelessly found its way into the ocean, and that's what you're eating. And So you find out that there are ripple effects to whatever we're doing as a people because of a poor habit or bad habit, if I put it that way. So you're eating this fish, feeling that you're eating the best of meal, but you're causing yourself, more harm than good. And then you're talking about cancer and some other diseases that didn't used to be in existence before now. So there are a whole lot of, it's more like a sequence. You understand? So we have the consequences being the health impact, and then on the soil, you find out that the soil we used to cultivate before now and then had good harvest. You really will find something because the land is being degraded, by the kind of waste we generate and how we dispose this waste. Talk about medical waste, talk about even food outlet, eateries in the city. You go if you drive past most of them in the city, you find out that the air in that place around that environment will be actually very polluted, toxic. So you can't find clean air to breathe around those places. So if you that is just a passerby is feeling that way, how about the people living around that place? So you find out that if we do not take it seriously as a people with regards to our habit, how we take care of our environment, we the people will always be the one to suffer the consequences. I like saying this whenever I have the opportunity to talk about the environment, that if you do not take care of nature, nature has a way of taking care of itself. And if nature should take care of itself, we will be the one to suffer. Can I give you an instance? I had talked about it already. Maybe it was as a result of road construction or whatever happened that the waterways in that area that got flooded were blocked. Nature had to find a way so that the water in that area can, the water will just have to, they say road no they lack water be. So nature just had to, water has to pass through somewhere. And they eventually end up in people's houses, people's homes. And the man was so unfortunate at that point, he was in the house, the flood came in, and he's gone. Nature took care of itself.
Okay, let me come from the angle of the soil. You mentioned soil, when you are planting that, can the use of fertilizer also affect?
Yeah, moderation is key. Talking about fertilizer application, yes. But when you consistently apply fertilizer, it has a way of affecting your soil quality. Okay. That is why we talk about agroecology, we talk about organic agriculture, that we should, see how we can go back to the organic agricultural practice. Take, for instance, in your village, you have a piece of land beside your kitchen where waste food, which you're not supposed to be wasting food, by the way, but there's no how, those remnants, you throw them into that garden. Dust, you throw them there. You don't apply fertilizer, but every produce, beginning with the pumpkin leaf and every other thing you get from this place, comes out very, very, very beautiful, and of course you always have good harvest without having to apply chemical fertilizer. Okay. Because nature always have a way of regenerating itself, and if you do this, you find that the reactions will actually be more like how do I put it? I just like being not too academic. It will be like friends coming together. But if it's chemical fertilizer or inorganic fertilizer you are applying, immediately after that a reaction, you find out that the soil will be loose, and if rainwater passes through that place, it will wash off.
Apart from the soil, what about the plant itself? Does it affect the plant also? That's what we're taking at the end of it.
Yeah, but again, of course, I had talked about bioaccumulation at some point. But the essential nutrient in this chemical or inorganic fertilizer. So yeah, the plant will take up to some extent, and so long the concentration is not harmful, where our attention is given is the health of the soil, because without a healthy soil, you will not have something tangible to. I'm also talking from the perspective of being an agriculturist. So the whole thing is a mix, but we should moderate how we apply inorganic fertilizer.
Okay, let me go to Mr. Iniebong. The 1 million project, is it specifically for just the Akwa Ibom state, or we still have other states that the tree planting is also ongoing?
Like I earlier said, the project is an idea of Yale Network Nigeria. Okay. This project is kickstarting today nationwide. In in the 36 states and the federal capital.
Okay.
So it's not particularly for Akwa Ibom alone.
Okay. Let's look at the area of land restoration. How can we restore our land?
Our focus now for land restoration is on tree planting, but while planting the trees, we're also looking at proper sanitation, taking away waste from the gutters, waste from the streets, and keeping the area clean. So if we can get those waste and keep our environment very clean, we'll be able to have a clean environment.
So how are the local communities involved in this project?
So far, we have been, Yale Akwa Ibom has been partnering with Akwa Ibom Protection,
Waste Management,
Principal. We've been partnering with that commission to do the monthly sanitation exercise. So we are still going to work with them on this program, on this project, and other organizations.
And Passion FM too, yeah.
Yes, Passion FM.
So how can individuals and organizations also support and get involved in the project?
Yes, individuals are captured in these projects. Like I said, we have a database. You don't need to come to Yale or be a member of Yale before you plant a tree. So what you usually do, you plant a tree, you get the link from us, you register on the database that you as an individual has planted a tree. At the end of the day, we are going to give out prizes to people who have planted the highest number of trees, organizations who have planted the highest number of trees. So the award will also capture poetry competition. You plant a tree and you give it a name. You write some beautiful eulogies about the tree.
About the tree.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, by August, we'll be having our national summit. So people who have done well will be duly appreciated.
With what? All right, Mr. Inyebonguko,
yes.
Thank you for coming to the studio. Thank you, Mr. Ejongsenye.
Thank you.
Coming to the studio.
Thank you. But please, every day is World Environment Day, so do your very best to take care of the environment.
Yeah,
every day is,
right.
of course.
Thank you for coming around.
Thank you.
Okay, it's still Niger Delta Today, a program brought to you from the studio of ADPN. Well, that's the size of our package for today. Do join us again tomorrow for another interesting package. My name is Sifon Ode. Good afternoon.